kana iya gane ta ko ka kunna sa
Thank you, House Leader. I think we can continue our activity. Yes. Okay. Let's get seated. Let us remain silent, please. House Leader, I think we can continue. Plus, next item, please. Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Other distinguished honorable members. The next item on the order paper. Laying and presentation of Kttv State 2025 fiscal year budget draft estimate by His Excellency the Governor of PhD, the Governor of Kttv State. Honorable Shamsuddin A. Dabai, House Leader. Honorable Shamsuddin A. Dabai, the House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, clerk and management staff, members of the press, our august visitors, people at the gallery, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Mr. Speaker, I move that this honorable House do agree to call the Executive Governor of Kttv State, Malam Dukko Umar Ratna, for the laying and presentation of Kttv State 2025 fiscal year budget estimate. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
can second the motion, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let me the English protocol. I do the court as moved by the Honorable House Leader. Thank you.
The House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Da Allah bakin mu a saurara da Allah. A saurara da Allah.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I want to humbly appeal to honorable members to agree for His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, to come into the chamber for delaying a presentation of 2025 budget.
Thank you. Do the honorable members agree to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dukko Umar Radda, PhD, CON, for laying and presentation of Katsina State 2025 fiscal year budget estimate? Those in support, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, please, if you go and invite His Excellency now. Excellency. Shall we rise for the national anthem? National anthem.
Mr. Speaker, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Speaker, I humbly request the honorable members to allow His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Duko Umar Radda, to lay and present the 2025 budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members of Katsina State House of Assembly, it is an honor to receive His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Duko Umar Radda, PhD, CON, to the Chamber of Katsina State House of Assembly. It is also an honor to receive other distinguished personalities that accompany him to the laying and presentation of the 2025 draft budget for Katsina State as provided in Section 121 of the Nigerian Constitution. Thank you. Your Excellency, you can now lay. Thank you. Yo. Thank you, Your Excellency. You can now present the budget. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ونبيك ورسولك النبي الأمي. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Your Excellency, a Deputy Governor of Katsina State, the Right Honorable Speaker, Katsina State House of Assembly, Chief Judge of the State, ably represented here today, Honorable Grand Kadi, Katsina State, Principal Officers of the State Assembly, and all other honorable members here present, and former speakers of the State Assembly that are with us today, Secretary to the Government of Katsina State, Chief of Staff, Head of Service, members of the State Executive Council, the Chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, our elder statesman, Alhaji Tahir Bara Umangal, GOC, Principal Private Secretary to the Governor, Permanent Secretaries, Clerk of the House, distinguished personalities that are here today, ladies and gentlemen. It is my profound sense of gratitude to Almighty Allah and deep commitment of service to the people of our beloved Katsina State that I stand before the honorable members of Katsina State House of Assembly to present the proposed 2025 budget for the consideration and passage into law. I wish to extend my personal vote of thanks to the Honorable Speaker of this House for his inspirational leadership and support. I also thank each member of this House of Assembly for his dedication to duty, concern for your constituents, and commitment to building the better future. Working relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government is instrumental to governance. Therefore, I could not have asked for a better partnership. The support for this House has allowed us to drive progressive policies, initiatives, and activities that have led to socio-economic development of our state. Government only exists because of the governed. I want to thank the people of Katsina State for their patience, resilience, as well as continue to turn around the tide and build a better future for all. The support for our people remains the driving force of our strategy and execution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, all our budgets are designed for the benefit of our people. Everything we do is for our people. And that is how we will continue to do things along as we are here. The goal of this administration is to become a pioneer for participatory budgeting in Nigeria, and that is what we have been able to achieve with this budget. This House may recall that I personally led a budget participation exercise in our 3 senatorial zones. That endeavor was the first step towards a truly people-oriented budget and the first of its kind in our dear state. Government policies and programs. I ran my campaign in 2022 on the policy and strength it in the spirit of participatory governance by soliciting our best and brightest. I continue to update our Building Our Future strategic policy in line with the new realities and ideas. I can assure this House that we have achieved many of our goals, and my administration is on course to meet and exceed its targets. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that this government has reversed the tide of insecurity, which severely threatened our peaceful coexistence as a state. Many of our local governments have been restored to normalcy while pushing the bandit to the fringes of the forest and, inshallah, to the end of their existence. We have expanded a lot of resources in fighting insecurity, and we shall continue to do so all we can to protect the lives and livelihood of our dear state. I thank the honorable members for their support and dedication to ultimate victory. Education and healthcare rank among the highest in achieving a sustainable development goals, and I'm happy to report that we have made tremendous gain in both sectors. We have been able to increase the number of junior and secondary schools significantly. We have recruited and trained thousands of teachers and continue to invest in reforms that will make the education sector more effective and efficient. Education is a bedrock of civilization, as demonstrated in the year 2025 budget. It remains a top priority of my administration. The healthcare sector plan of my administration is to make Katsina State a center for excellence for healthcare in Nigeria. We are committed to ensuring that our people can access quality healthcare services in all our wards while building the capacity of our secondary health institutions. We have invested heavily in building our diagnostic capacities while we continue to partner with organizations abroad to strengthen our hospital at the low cost. I'm pleased to announce that the 2024 farming season was a tremendous success, and our policy to focus on farmers has yielded results. We have provided improved seeds, fertilizer, farming implements, and irrigation pumps to our farmers. We have also increased the number of extension workers in the state to support our farmers. Our people depend on agriculture for their livelihood, and this sector will remain a priority in the coming year with new policies for mechanization, foreign investment, and enhanced coordination. We have provided unprecedented level of support to our MSMEs in our drive towards socio-economic development. This administration has been able to balance a competing priorities while also providing direct support to our most vulnerable people. Our digitalization policy has been the introduction of the Treasury single account and budget and expenditure management system to streamline our financial system with positive results. We have digitalized our land management, hospital management, and on track to launch another solution that will bring about transparency, efficiency in key sectors of the economy. We have launched several key policies including the MSME sector, internally displaced persons, gender-based violence, public-private partnership, and climate change, among others. These policies are not a mere document, but form the basis on which we approach and deal with key issues in our state. Mr. Speaker, you were with me when we launched the Katsina State Community Development Program, CDP. I want to thank you for your support, and I also want to wish to thank all the honorable members who are aligning with our vision to make communities a part of our governance structure. Let me reiterate that our approach has been lauded and received positively by key stakeholders. It is now up to all of us in Katsina State to make it a progress high. The challenges. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the glaring challenges facing our country. Global and local factors ultimately affect our people and our ability to implement our projects and programs effectively. We are pleased that despite the numerous challenges, we are able to record considerable gains in all our priority areas. Wars between Russia and Ukraine lead to an increase in stable food prices, and Nigeria, being a wheat importer, was affected. Crisis in Yemen increased shipping costs and significantly, hence increased landing costs and market prices in the country. Imported inflation was witnessed across the key necessities, while other pressures have had ripple effect in our people. Nationally, we have been most affected by the devaluation of our currency, which has led to massive inflation. When I presented 2024 budget, the Naira was 816 to a dollar. Today, Mr. Speaker, it is at 1,725 Naira, which is more than 100% depreciation. These are the realities we face when we implement the budget. The uncertainty is not helpful, but we have managed to remain efficient. The removal of fuel subsidy has increased living costs and by extension labor crisis or labor cost. The increase in minimum wage has a significant impact on the cost of running the private and public sector across the country. Our primary concern remains the welfare of our people and supporting them to navigate the hardship facing us. Locally, our frontline local governments were affected by insecurity. Our gains in this fight has allowed our farmers to be more productive and overcome these challenges. Criminality will persist, but we are confident it will not deter us from achieving our objectives. We are working tirelessly to ensure that Katsina State remains vibrant and attractive economy for investment. Micro and macroeconomic factors were significant, and all thanks to Almighty Allah for seeing us through. We have been able to make significant gains in key sectors despite the challenges, and believe me, we will finish the year strongly. We have delivered on capital and social investment at unprecedented level, while continuing to bring new ideas for efficiency in our governance. Review of the 2024 budget performance. Honorable members, we have carefully monitored budget performance on a quarterly basis to ensure we are implementing our project and program according to the requirement of the law. I shall present to you the performance for the year 2024 compiled up to the last day of October. As you all know, the final 2 months of the year also tend to be the best performing as projects are completed, so we are expecting significant improvement over our already impressive performance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the 2024 budget sought to improve access to education, healthcare, water, social support, agriculture, among other objectives. We are aimed to boost internally generated revenue and block leakages in all areas of government. We have been able to make considerable progress in all fronts, thanks to the support of this House. It is my great pleasure to present the highlights of the 2024 budget performance to the Honorable House as follows. 2024 budget performance. The total recurrent expenditure and revenue as at October 2024 is recurrent revenue, including opening balance, is in the total sum of 501,833,574,609 naira 0.55 kobo, which represents 104%. This comprises of 273,470,699,457 naira 0.30 state government share of PAC, which represents 139%. 32 billion and 14,099,457.40 independent revenue, which represents 73% of our expected internally generated revenue. 181 billion 346,573,314 naira 0.08 capital receipt, which represents 80% of the expected revenue. The state has a positive inflow from both statutory and special allocation from the federal account, resulting to overperformance in this segment of the budget. This accounted for the need of the two separate supplementary budget proposals to this House, which you graciously approved in July and November 2024. I'm sure it will appeal to you, Mr. Speaker, to know that for the first time in the history of the state, a state record of 139% of the PAC allocation was attained. The rejuvenation of the Kttv revenue collection strategies, which include, among others, opening new revenue windows, the use of the TSA, proactive revenue investigations, zero tolerance on leakages, and accountability on revenue returns have helped in promoting the state IGR performance by another impressive record of 73%. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the accrual of the sum of 181 billion 346 million from aid grants and capital development component of the 2024 budget is a first-setting record in the history of Kttv State capital received revenue generation. Our revenue performance was instrumental to our ability to implement multiple projects and programs for the benefit of our people. unprecedented revenue performance was also reflected in our expenditure performance for the year. We have achieved an expenditure performance of 66.4% as we continue to complete several projects before the end of the year. We expected this figure to close much higher in our last quarterly report of the 2024. The state capital investments have a record of 60% against the revised budget of July this year. I wish to draw the attention of the House that the government has expanded substantial funds in supporting our non-salary recurring expenditure in education, operations and other social services, which include urban renewal initiative and payment of several years of pension and gratuity liability owned by the state since 2019. We plan to clear all outstanding liabilities for the state government by December 2024, for the local government by July 2025. The payments are not only an obligation on to those who give their lives for public service, but catalysts for our local economy. We also expanded significant funds on foreign scholarship to train much needed doctors and other specialists in the state. Recurrent and capital expenditure is to the tune of 319 billion 931 million 944,882.40, with an overall 66.4% performance, which is broken down as follows. The current expenditure 82 billion 619 million 152,967 naira, which represent 66.9%. Capital expenditure, which got amount of 237 billion 312 million 999,714.18, which represent 66% performance. Sectoral performance. Generally, the implementation of the 2024 budget has outperformed previous year's budget across all the critical sectors. Leveraging on the increased revenue recorded this year, it was easier for the government to implement various projects and programs from the budget as it aimed to achieve its strategic policy objectives. The sectoral expenditure performance for the 2024 budget so far is as follows. The administrative sector has an overall performance of 47 billion 508 million 856,405 naira .40, representing 61.40% of the revised budget. The economic sector has an expenditure performance of 115 billion 508 million 886,213 naira .45, and we expect this figure to rise significantly before the end of the year. Law and Justice achieved 3 billion 48 million 443,553 naira .71, which is 56.70% of its total reviewed budget. Social sector recorded an expenditure performance of 100.6%. as we prioritize expenditure that directly impact our people. Highlight of the program and project executed. Works and housing. Infrastructure is the backbone of economic development and the key priority of this administration. Roads reduce travel times across our state, provide access to our agricultural produce, and improve the quality of life of our rural areas. Infrastructure is also expensive, but we have endured to ensure that we continue the work of previous administration as we seek to make Katsina State even more connected than it is already. We inherited a backlog of 24 uncompleted and ongoing projects with cumulative liability of 6,259,630,046 naira.10. Out of these 24, 10 were completed by previous government but with unpaid balances. We concentrated on this ongoing project, clearing the sum of 4,846,820,642 naira.83 in their execution. Some of these projects have already been completed while others are still ongoing. The ongoing projects include rehabilitation of Musa Dangana Dan Ali and Tumaki Road, Musa local government for the sum of 450 million at 85% completion. Construction of Rima Yasukuntuni Karadua Road at Mataza local government for the sum of 550 million at 85 completion stage. Construction of Musawa Gingin Tapane Road at Musa local government at a cost of 600 million at 75% completion. Construction of Kankara Zango Dansabo Road at Kankara local government for 1.7 billion at 65% completion. Construction of Kankia Dangamo Road Cook at Kankia local government for 650 million at 60% completion. Rehabilitation of Karapi Kurengapa Iga Road at Bako Romalomfashi local government area for 340 million at 61% completion. Construction of Tashar into Bariawa Sagem Muduru Road at Mani local government at the cost of 1.7 billion. In addition to completing ongoing projects, we have spent the sum of 30 billion 988 million 359,216.50 billion in the construction of roads, which include dualization of the Opal Sorok Opal Buga roundabout being executed by Mothercat Limited at the total cost of 3,553,914,426 naira.60, with the progress of about 60%. Construction of dual carriageway from Dutsamma Road to Mani Road to Daura Road to Entaki Town by CCECC Nigeria Limited at the cost of 30 billion, now at 40% completion. Another road dualization from Katsina Central Mosque over Maru Sakidis roundabout by CCEC Nigeria Limited for the sum of 14.7 billion, currently at 5% completion. Design and construction of Kadanya, Kunduru, Sakatsaganwa, Majanwaya Spur Road by Stantec Engineering Limited at the cost of 36 billion, 245 million, 66,746 naira.68, which has commenced already. Rehabilitation of Shargal Ladus Ngawa Road by Mothercat about to commence, and over 5 billion representing 40% was paid to the company. Three township urban renewal roads at Puntua has also been awarded. Other important infrastructure provided in the state are the construction of the government building across the state, where the sum of 6.9 billion was spent. Such work include renovation of the state secretariat, conversion of the state library building at the state secretariat to the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, renovation of the government house and the lodge in Abuja, education sector. Our commitment to education sector is unwavering and has been supported immensely by the intervention funds we have received from development partners. We have executed the following projects and programs. Construction of new primary schools at the cost of 944,250,459 naira. rehabilitation of 51 primary schools at the cost of 849,544,000 naira. Supply of 6,124 pupil desks and seats of teachers and tables. Conducting various types of training managerial capacity building for 8,913 basic and post-basic teachers. Under the Agile World Bank supported program, 45 senior secondary school and 30 senior secondary school were built. We just commissioned one last week. 3,000 and 2,000 teachers were trained on school record keeping, modern farming techniques respectively. 2,000 students were trained on tea bag production. The total sum of 2,159,000,000 was spent under the UBEC intervention fund from UBEC, which is the state counterpart funding. While the sum of 3,751,132,019 naira was expanded under BISDA for various forms of primary school improvement projects. Major renovation works were carried out at GDSS Funtua, Jikamshi, Ingawa, Zango, and Kabumu, where furniture were supplied on direct labor to various sum of about 452 million. The sum of 552 million was also utilized by the Ministry of Higher Education in the construction of faculty offices, wall fencing, male hostel, and other physical structures across the tertiary institutions. Under the Girl Child Education Program, the sum of 142,362,821 naira was utilized for the supply of various girls' child education development activities, which include support items including book, cash grants, uniform, and exam fees. As promised in our strategic policy, we have begun construction of 3 model schools, with one in each senatorial district of the state. This school will offer world-class education for the gifted and the best performing students of the poor entirely on merit. Mr. Speaker, our intervention in the education sector is impacting positively in decongesting classroom, improving pupils teachers ratio, increasing enrollment rate, and as much more, we are confident that our upcoming comprehensive policy for the sector will accelerate results in the sector. Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning. Mr. Speaker, many of us here know the value of land and the importance of having the right documentation. Valid land documents increase the economic value of lands, makes transfer easier, allow landowners to use them as collateral, and improves legal outcomes. Therefore, we must also revisit our master plan and provide a basis for sustaining urban development for the next 30, 50 years to come, so as to have a community settlement that are designed properly and are fit for purpose. In this regard, we established Katsina Geographical Information Services, KAGIS, to be a game changer in our quest to reform land administration, and their work will undoubtedly sensitize the sector. During the 2024 budget cycle, we spent about 240 million for the first phase of the KAGIS project. An additional sum of 569 million was budgeted, out of which 75% of the work has already been disbursed for the second phase. I would like to assure you that this project will come with enormous benefit for both government and communities we serve through revenue generation, security of land tenure. You may also be pleased to know that Katsina State has spent at least, you may wish to know that Katsina State has spent the least amount to set up GIS institution in the region of this country. The government has also spent a total of 725 million to procure required machines and equipment that will allow the urban and regional board to enforce any development control orders. We have also recruited professional staff to upscale the capacity and manpower of the board. We have engaged competent professionals to review the master plan of Katsina, Daura, and Funtua cities. This will cost the government about 316 million in total, of which 40% of the funds has already been disposed and work is ongoing. As we embark on this ambitious journey, our renewal program across our major cities, implementation of other development projects across the state, the government has spent over 4 billion in the 2024 budget cycle for the payment of compensation to property owners that have been affected by various development projects, ranging from construction of road schools to the expansion of Umar Musa Airport in Katsina. Healthcare. Healthcare remains one of the critical sectors of this administration. As we set out to build the best healthcare sector in Nigeria, implementing 2024 budget allows us to achieve significant milestone in our target of having at least one comprehensive primary health sector facility in each of the 361 wards of the state, one general hospital in each 34 local government areas of the state. Mr. Speaker, the Kttv state currently has the highest number of primary, secondary, and tertiary health institutions in Nigeria, totaling about 1751, out of which 85% of them are functional. Presently, the government has completed republishment of the 102 comprehensive health care centers, while 22 are ongoing and 34 have already been approved for renovations. To ensure equity and evenness in the provision of health facilities, the government upgraded comprehensive primary health center at Zango 560 million, Kafur 1.3 billion, Paskari 509 million, Charanch 1.4 billion, and Dandume 1.4 billion to general hospitals. The Ministry of Health alone, including her department and agency, has expanded the sum of 9,469,936,020 naira.21 in the improvement and provision of facilities and services in the health sector. Also, Imaging Center is under construction at Ahmadi General Hospital. Equipment for the center was over 12 billion awarded. Water resources and environment. Honorable members, it is often said that water is life, and this administration has prioritized access to potable drinking water at the time when the groundwater is increasingly becoming more difficult and expensive by our people to access. We have also focused on environment as we face the realities of climate change and environmental degradation in many of our communities. Some of the key projects in the water and environment during the period under review include upgrading of Musa Water Scheme at the cost of 367,892,293 naira.52, which has been completed. Procurement and installation of 7.5 MVA 33 kV/11 kV injection station at Ajiwa Water Treatment Plant for 659,839,064 naira. Construction of Anja Dam and provision access road for the sum of 1,553,898,292 naira. Rehabilitation of the treatment process unit, laboratory and registration block reservoir for 290,356,639. Under SAWASH, the World Bank has supported the government with 5,088,175,000 for the procurement of different types of water treatment, chemicals, and maintenance of water bodies in the state. Under environment, in Akrisel Phase 2 for drainages in both Katsina and Jibia were completed, with Katsina Stormwater Project Phase 2 at the sum of 8,760,229,468.50 and Jibia Stormwater Project at the sum of 6,600,000,000 882,129,870.72. The sum of 82,192,314.13 was used for the production of 1,150,000 tree seedlings, purchase of pogging machines, repair of drainage, and construction of nursery line drains. The sum of 259,400,000 was used for drilling solar boreholes across the state. Procurement of 2 number SUV and 1 number 18-seater bus at the cost of 285,400,000 naira. Purchase of assorted items for land restoration of 1,116 hectares at the cost of 672,1,200 naira. Katsina State Storm Meter Drainage Management Phase 2 cost 959,342 naira 0.11 kobo. Also, a contract worth 20 billion was awarded for both rural, small town, and urban centers are ongoing in 10 local government areas of the state. Agriculture. My focus on agriculture is imperial as we seek to improve the productivity of farms, reduce post-harvest costs, and improve value addition in our farm produce. We have expanded unprecedented amount on purchase and distribution of farm input to farmers to achieve our target, and we have to thank Almighty Allah for protective farming season this year. Food security is key to sustainable development, and our investment in agricultural sector will have impact beyond borders of our state. The government has made following investment in the agricultural sector: supporting 2,040 farmers across the state to undertake dry season farming in collaboration with 34 local governments for the cost of 1.9 billion. Procurement and sale of 20,000 metric tons of fertilizer to 350,000 farmers at subsidized rate totaling about 21,436,000 naira. Purchase of 722 motorcycle knapsack sprayers and 722 extension workers at the cost of 839,021,760 naira. Supporting 4,426 women under Women in Agricultural Program, ranching development, which is at the 80% completion for the cost of 688,943,450 naira. Purchase of 400 tractors for mechanized farming and other implements for the cost of over 12 billion. Resuscitation of cotton value chain with 79,967,000. Procurement and distribution of 4,000 solar water pumps and 4,000 power tillers for 8,382,340,000 in collaboration with 34 local government areas of the state. In all, Mr. Speaker, we are happy to say that this effort, with the help of Allah, have led to the bumper harvest in Katsina State in spite of prohibitive threat of bandits on our peasant farmers. We have also achieved our promise of increasing the number of extension workers from 78 we met in 2023 to 772 today, an effort that is yielding positive results. Security. Mr. Speaker, community-driven model of the fighting insecurity has become the standard and has been emulated by our neighbors. And I want to thank the honorable members for supporting the Katsina Community Watch Corps legislation and backing the unprecedented level of state expenditure on security by any administration in this country. We have recorded much success, but more must be done to bring this menace to a complete end, inshallah. We have implemented the following measures as part of our security plan for 2024. Engage and train 1,100 community volunteers to work closely with Katsina Community Watch in various community capacities in all of the frontline local governments and vulnerable local governments. We have launched sustained joint operation to ensure a smooth and productive farming season at the beginning, middle, and end of the farming season. We conducted recruitment exercise of the second batch of the Katsina Community Watch of 550 personnel, provided monthly allowances to 1,500 vigilantes, 1,279 security support groups, 6,652 ward heads, 2,525 imams, 2,515 ladans, and 2,515 naibis. Deployed 200 additional hunters to help the community protection. Invested in strengthening our collaboration with federal security agencies as they make significant gain in our fight against insecurity in the state. Special projects. Mr. Speaker, I would like to conclude by highlighting some of the key projects and programs that are impactful in 2024. They include provision of mini grid at Government House and General Hospital Katsina at the cost of 1,792,449,322 naira.0. Provision of solar street light in Katsina Metropolis, covering about 70 kilometers within Katsina Metropolis, at the cost of 3,301,585,646.52 naira. Procurement and distribution of 69,469 bags of assorted grains, maize and millet at subsidized rate, costing about 4,697,125,735.0. Procurement of 40,000 bags of guinea corn, 40,000 bags of maize, 40,000 bags of millet, which are procured at the cost of 756 million for distribution as subsidized. Renovation and completion of 2 number mosques and Islamias in each local government at the cost of 102,119,002 naira.57. Utilization of the sum of 264,289,833 on gender mainstream activities across the state. Spending the sum of 2,359,787,650 naira on various enterprise development and enhancement activities, which include provision of special interest-free loans, mentoring and apprenticeship, revival of local government poultry farming, beekeeping and fish farming, among other initiatives. Palliatives of food items and distribution of relief materials to 45,772 beneficiaries under